Hi everyone, it's Bridget from Paper Creations. I haven't done a card video for a while because we've actually been refurbing my craft room, so I wanted to do a quick little video, just a tour of the room, and I apologise ahead of time that I'm not very good at physically holding a camera, so if I wave it around a little bit, please be kind. So my husband is actually a cabinet maker, so he had some spare time and he made me three large, almost pantry size, I guess, cupboards. He also built the paper storage and laid the carpet and, you know, was generally just really helpful throughout the process. And the room, a lot of people have commented on the size of the room. It's actually separate to our house, so it's actually at the back of our garage. Whoever, you know, sort of had the house before us put this room on the back of the garage. It's like a Queensland room. It has windows that generally go all the way around, but these are blocked off by the cupboards. But this room, when we first bought the house, was really handy as a teenager's retreat because half the garage had also been converted, sort of lined and made into a room. So, you know, sometimes if we had sleepovers, the kids would all sleep out here, and there was an extra television and whatnot out here for them to have their own space. So, you know, it's been a junk room, it's been a gym, it's been a teenager's retreat, and when the kids moved out, I decided to claim it. It had concrete floors as well. That was a bit problematic because of the concrete dust. So we went to Bunnings recently and just bought some really cheap carpet in 3 pieces and laid it into the room, which has made a huge difference. Let me tell you, I don't cough nearly as much in here now. And that's just a little bit about the room. So when you first walk in, this is my silhouette cutting station. It's on wheels. Husband also made the table. Clever little thing that he is, and he put it on wheels because there's no power points at this end of the room, so I need to wheel it until we get some power points. I need to be able to wheel it to where the power points actually are. These are my cupboards. I have all of my colouring mediums here, my pencils, watercolour pencils, Copic markers, gelatos, watercolour pans, distress markers, more watercolour. So anything pretty much to do with colouring in is up here. Here I have gesso, you know, big tubs of gesso, modelling paste. I have some of these Cosmic Shimmer paints, corrugated card, all of my watercolour papers, extra art journals for when I run out. I bought this one. I haven't used this one yet, but I'll be keen to try it. I also bought some of these watercolour panels ready to colour in, and I like to use those in my art journals as well as my planners. I do a lot of work in my planners lately. So down here, again, more big tubs of gel medium. This is my really thick gesso. Maybe it's only really thick because it's so old, but it is quite thick. I have my planner stamps that I use in my planner, planner stickers. So I have a lot of planner stickers in there. The punches to go with my planners. This one's for the Happy Planner, and this one is for my Kiki K large planner. It actually punches 6 holes at once. Bought that one on Fish Pond. Was quite a reasonable price because it was also free shipping, so that was good. Extra stickers, and these ones just are from Kaiser Craft. When you buy the paper collections, you often get like a sticker sheet in the back, and that's just where they came from. You have paint brushes, sponges, more paint brushes, texture paste, sponge daubers, anything pretty much related to painting and colouring is in this cupboard. There's actually, I like the fact that there's actually an empty tub, which means I can put more things in there. So that's that one. I'll leave that door open because it blocks a little bit of the light. actually, for video purposes. Okay, so in here, this is probably my favourite cupboard because I have a stamp obsession, so at least I recognise it. So I have my clear stamps here. This is actually quite a big box and it's chock-a-block full of stamps. Same as this one, it's quite full of stamps also. And what I like to do, and this one only arrived the other day, but when I buy them, I try to buy the matching die to go with them. And, what I do then, because surprisingly, I have been known to lose dies or stamps. I can often find the stamp but not the die, or the die and not the stamp, and so on. So what I do is I put them on magnetic sheets and slip them into the back of the stamp set so that they're always together. Now, a lot of this stuff for storage that you'll see is things that I've kind of put in place since I've had the craft room done. It was never anything I had before. It was pretty chaotic in here actually. So when I put everything away, I thought that I have to try and be organised, otherwise it's just pointless. So here are some of my wood, or pretty much all of my wood mount stamps, because I'm not a fan of wood mount, but you know, sometimes I do like them. Dies, there's some in here that I don't use very often, but I'll go through and see if I want to keep. So I buy stuff from everywhere too. Like, I do tend to send away overseas for things, even though the postage is a killer. I don't do it often, but sometimes I do. So here are, you know, some of the dies I've got. A lot of them are Stampin' Up because I am an independent demonstrator, so you know, there's a minimum that you have to purchase every 3 months, so I do tend to accumulate quite a bit of stuff. At the back here I've got other dies from other places. This one, these ones here, these bags are actually, I think they're Kaisercraft, and I think they were like $1 each, and I just put a magnetic sheet in there and it zips closed, so you can keep your dies in there and you don't lose them. More dies in here, you know, different ones in here. Down here I have Tim Holtz. He has his very own little section. I don't have many. Stencils and embossing folders. And another little thing that I developed and thought hard about was having boxes for certain things. So in these 2 boxes is everything to do with my planners. So if I buy something and it's for the planner, it goes in here, rather than just put it in with everything else and then not be able to find it when I want it. And that's my biggest problem. So in here I have, you know, stamps, sticky notes, all sorts of different things that I like to use when I'm sort of playing around with my planners. Extra tape, highlighters, glue, dots, glue, these sort of things. All good things to put in planners. And I have similar ones for my mixed media and my project life. Ribbon down here, and my wax melts, which smell amazing. That's that cupboard. Let me just move this fan out the road. Okay, so in here I have washi tape, which I use predominantly for my planners because I like to be able to mask off certain areas, but I also use it in card making and scrapbook pages. Here I have Project Life, the cards that I'm using at the moment for the books that I'm working on. Kits, these are scrapbook kits that I've bought over the years, and some of them I've had for a couple of years. But you know, I pulled one out the other day and I thought, oh, that'd be perfect for something. So you do end up using it. So I have my embossing powders, eyelets, Brad's buttons, and probably more buttons, and little googly eyes, and embossing powders, and embossing enamel. Anything like that is in here. More kits. I have got a couple of the Simon Says Stamp monthly kits. Now, somebody asked me whether they were actually worth the price because they are quite expensive. For us here in Australia, probably not, because you can add, you know, easily $20 for postage. So that makes them expensive. And the other factor is too that, you know, say I bought the Christmas one, it probably wouldn't arrive till after Christmas because it takes 3 weeks for things to arrive here in Australia. So, you know, I wouldn't probably buy too many of them unless I'm buying other things as well. So, yeah. So we have some of the Simply Scent kits, you know, treat bags, that sort of stuff here. Little stickers, which should be actually in the planner box. I'll put them away in a minute. Random scrapbooking stuff in those. Oh, more kits. Okay. You know, I've said before in videos that I really like kits, and for me, I'm away actually at training from Thursday and Friday, so I'll take a kit with me so that I'm not sitting bored in a motel room with nothing to do. So that's the purpose of kits for me. This I bought at Bunnings. When I looked at it, it seemed to be almost the perfect size for Project Life cards. And when I brought it home, it was quite expensive, but when I brought it home, I realised it was actually perfect size for Project Life cards. And you can, you know, set them up however you want. Doesn't matter how you do it. So these are all my loose Project Life cards that I've accumulated over the years in there. So that's that little section. Down here, this cupboard down here, it has things that I'd grab quickly, like my hole punch, tape glider, refills for different things, ink for my printer, that sort of thing. As you can see, trimmer and scoreboard. Now this is another thing I've developed. So when I'm working on a project, usually I have, you know, 3 or 4 going at the same time, and I tend to lose things, like I said. So they get all jumbled in together, and, you know, then I'll do a class and I need 5 card bases and I've only got 3 and so on. So whenever I finish with a project or leave it, I now put it into this tub, usually in a plastic sleeve, but because there's only the 2 in here, I don't need to do that this time. But that's actually for my next class, and that's actually some calendars that I'll be working on, and they all go in there. So hopefully I won't lose anything. Now this television is actually attached to this, and that's what my camera sits on when I'm recording. So as you can see, that's where I do all of my recording, right here. So the camera is attached to that, it's plugged in, and then it shows up on the screen what I'm doing, so I can actually see whether I'm in camera, not in camera, that sort of thing. So it keeps me on track. Again, on here are things that I use all the time. So paintbrushes that I use all the time, punches close to hand. Don't look there because that's not very safe. These are my builder punches, like the Fox Builder, Tree Builder, Owl Builder. All of my inks from different places. I've got archival inks. I've got some of the Simon Says inks. Obviously Stampin' Up inks, Versamark, glue dots, stamp blocks, that sort of thing there. Refills, Stampin' Up inks, pens, pencils, rulers. So when I've finished videoing, I'll attach it to the computer and it comes up actually in this program, and that's how I do all the editing. Okay, so this is my mixed media trolley. So in here I have anything and everything that I use for my mixed media. Lots of metallic type paints, shimmer paints, Mod Podge, colour paste, and these actually, I really like these. This is dimensional paint, so instead of using like texture paste, you can use this and it adds dimension to actually your work. Also have, you know, some of these in here. black gesso. Down here I have all of my distress inks and stains and some of my silks. Here I have my dilutions. Anything to do with mixed media is in this trolley, actually. Random tubes of paint down here and some, you know, stuff I like to use for texture. So, actually, I meant to say this here and this one, as well as this storage unit here, there's a lady that lives locally and her husband makes these. And she said that they ship quite reasonably. Now I pick up because she's, you know, sort of close to my home, but if you're interested in something like that, I'm happy to pass her details on to you. And she said that they ship really reasonably. So, you know, that's something you can discuss with her. Same as this one, he made this one as well. This is for the distress inks, but I also keep other things in here, you know. There's the Stampin' Up! Ombre inks, there's my Kaleidocolor inks in here, whatever, you know, just little loose bits. I used to have a lot of these little things kicking around, and I went to the Penrith Papercraft Festival and I bought some of these as well as the sponge dauber storage. Here I have all of my Stampin' Up! Stamp sets, as well as my little Halloween friend, my Itsy Bitsy oil burner. So with my Stampin' Up! Stamps, I keep them out so that I'll actually use them or remember to use them, because I do have a lot of stamps, and I usually go to these first before I go to any of the others. The yellow dot ones are discontinued, so I'll know whether I can sell them or not. So I have my background stamps, you know, just different stamps. So then we have paper storage. Okay, so this is a frame that was purchased from Masters. We bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, and my husband just cuts pieces to slide in, and he's doing some thicker ones for me so I can actually store books on there as well, and eventually it'll have shelving all the way down to the floor, and then all of this paper and all of that paper will end up in here so that it's, you know, more room in here. So that's that. Random cupboard with just extras, you know, that I have 2 of, these sort of things. Random inks that I have, all the different little stays-ons. I have some of these colour burst things that I haven't used much but plan on doing so. All my glue. I bought some of these at the Papercraft show as well. I want to use those. Big punches and sequins. Good Lord. Sequins and more sequins. And more buttons and more sequins, surprisingly enough. Just before we pulled the craft room apart, I actually purchased a Mink Machine, again because I went to the Papercraft show and I thought, wow, what a great thing. So saved up my pennies and went and bought one. So I haven't used it yet, but I will be playing with it today. So in this top drawer are all the bits and pieces related to the Mink Machine, which I'll go through later to, you know, work out for myself. I don't know, just random bits and pieces in there. This drawer has all of my card magazine freebies. So, you know, when you buy a magazine and you get the free stamps and whatnot to go with it, that's where these have come from. And I have to be honest and say, I mean, you know, this is really honesty time. I do buy the magazine just for the freebie, not so much for the content of the magazine. Project Life cards that I'm not using at the moment, and Cameo stuff. So more paper. So over here, this is the table where I have my classes. We can pull the table out and it'll seat 6, but 4 very comfortably. 6, you know, would be a bit of a squeeze, but 4 comfortably. So usually when I'm doing stuff, I don't necessarily sit over at my desk. I'll sit here because I can spread out. And when I said that if I'm working on 2 or 3 things at once, things get lost. Believe me, they get lost. So at the moment I've got one project out, and if I'm putting, you know, if I've finished with this one for the time being and I'm putting it away, I'll put all of this into a plastic sleeve and put it into that box so I don't lose it. Because with this one there's actually lots of, you know, little pieces that you actually don't want to go missing, because you never know if you need them or not. So that's that, and that's where we sit. So this here, my husband put this up as well, and we thought about a cork board, but we decided to go with this, and it's actually quite thick. It's probably almost 1/2 inch thick, and it's material, and it's really spongy, so it's, you know, you can get your pins in it fairly easily. And we put here all the projects that we make in class, but some of the things like these, they're swaps from different, you know, things that I've taken part in and have been sent back to me. But a lot of it is, you know, sort of projects that we've done as a class. I think this is last year's tag kit from Stampin' Up. Some tags that I've made, little shadow box tag. I think we made these as a class last year, these two. Some mixed media tags, just some canvases. There's those. I think I did a video on these, and also the current tin of tags kit. That's my grandson 4 years ago. Loved his art, still does. These are tags that I've made and did a video on. So when I do a video, sometimes it takes me 4 or 5 goes. So all of these cards, they're extras, and sometimes there's a little something I'm not happy with on them, and that's why they end up here. Sometimes I put things up until I know that I want to use them. If I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be okay, I hang them up for a while and look at them to decide whether or not I'll actually use it. These ones are the new Christmas card making kit from Stampin' Up. They're up there. So yeah, so we just, you know, pretty much put whatever up on here and we rotate. So next, these will all come down, and then we'll start fresh from January with new things up on the wall. So that's a really quick tour. I didn't do the top shelf, but really, you know, is my sticker machine. Ooh, the cards that I've made that are going to fall on my head. The planners that I'm working on. I will show you this one though, just real quickly. I can't wait to use this one actually. This one had stickers which have gone down the back of the shelf, but it's actually the Happy Planner for recipes. So at the front you have like a market list, so you can write your shopping list and put it with the recipe. All the Happy Planners have, like, you know, belongs to whatever. This is like cooking terms from A to Z pretty much. If you don't know what it means, look it up. It'll have a nice little saying from a chef at the front. Then it'll have, you know, measurements equivalent. So 1 tablespoon is equivalent to half a fluid ounce, that sort of thing. Put your recipe in here, add your stickers to it. They all have dividers, and all the dividers have this lovely title page. So you have main dishes, slow cooked, entertaining, where are we? And they all, like I said, they all have, you know, a nice little title page. Quick and easy, healthy fare, desserts, miscellaneous, and I've actually got spares in the back so I can add more in. That's that one, and I'm going to start working in that one at Christmas time when I've got some spare time. I've also got this one, which I have started to sort of decorate up. It's got, you know, stickers in the front to put in. Again, belongs to. So this is just the yearly planner, and it starts off with at a glance this month. So what I'm doing, who's having a birthday, what notes, what's important, you know, sort of what I'm crafting, where I'm going. and so on. Again, it comes with a nice little saying here. This is the month. You can just put monthly things on here, and then we go into weekly. So I've kind of started. I'm not overly happy with that page, but I will redo it. And I haven't done much more in here except my Valentine's week. I have done my Valentine's week, so I will be probably adding a little bit to that, but not very much. So that then leaves me room to write different things, you know, on there. So that's my planners. And I have, of course, my everyday planner that I use for everything else, actually. So, yep, so planners are the new thing. Well, not the new thing, but they are the thing. Hopefully you enjoyed that video. I'm really glad that I've got my craft room back together, and I can start making videos again, which I've actually missed doing. So let me know if you have any questions, particularly about the ink storage and the punch storage. Happy to pass the details on to you for you to contact the lady. And if you live in Newcastle, or, you know, locally to Newcastle, you can pick up. It works out a lot cheaper, probably. But she did say she was quite reasonable for postage. So let me know what you think. Any feedback is fine. And happy crafting.